Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a digital battleground you might never have heard of, but one that has profound real-world consequences. Somali language YouTube. We've been given, well, quite a stack of sources for this deep dive, everything from reports breaking down sophisticated clickbait tactics to detailed analyses of disinformation, gossip, toxic political narratives.
Yeah, and in-depth studies on online safety risks, the whole landscape of misinformation in Somali. It's a lot.
It really is. So our mission today is to kind of extract the core insights from these sources. We're specifically focusing on how YouTube video titles are, well, meticulously crafted to exploit fundamental human psychology.
Right.
We'll uncover the systematic use of tribalism, clanism, factionalism, raw sensationalism, that manufactured sense of urgency, and just outright clickbait.
And crucially, the motivations behind it all.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
money, the deep-seated clan ideology driving these tactics in today's, intense attention economy.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, and what makes this so critical, is how specific linguistic and intricate cultural nuances are leveraged with remarkable precision. And this makes these tactics incredibly potent, They resonate deeply with Somali-speaking audiences. It's a powerful and, frankly, stark example of how online content, just words on a screen, can have direct, tangible,
Devastating consequences sometimes.
exactly, real-world consequences, often thousands of miles from where the content is actually created.
Yeah.
So we'll help you understand not just what is happening in this complex digital space, but why it matters and what fundamental forces are really driving it.
Okay, so let's unpack this. You're about to get a shortcut, really, to understanding a complex digital landscape where these online dynamics, they don't just stay online. They profoundly shape social cohesion, influence political stability, you can even fuel conflict.
Yeah. So our sources reveal a truly prolific, honestly quite disturbing environment, especially on YouTube. Video titles aren't just created. They're meticulously engineered to capture attention, to demand your click.
Right.
When we dug into the data, what truly hit home was the sheer, industrial scale of this. We're talking about approximately 4,550 Somali language video titles scraped from just one channel between 2018 and mid-2025.
Just one channel, exactly. To put that in perspective, that's roughly one new video title, one new piece of engineered content every 2 days for years.
Wow.
This isn't random. It reveals a meticulously crafted, highly profitable attention farm. Imagine a digital factory just churning out content designed for relentless engagement.
An attention farm. I like that analogy.
Yeah, and the content strategically blends everything. Religious topics, celebrity gossip, intensely polarizing political commentary, often blurring the lines between them.
Creating this potent mix.
A potent, often volatile mix. Unverified claims, conspiracy theories, scandal mongering. These channels are really adept at identifying a trending topic or a prominent figure and then framing it in titles as, hidden secrets, shocking scandals, even dire divine warnings, anything to hook you. And the strategy behind these titles is incredibly clear. Ruthlessly effective, really. Trigger strong emotional responses. We're talking fear, raw outrage, insatiable curiosity, that sense of manufactured urgency. These aren't just random emotions. They are precisely the key drivers of engagement in what we call the attention economy.
Right, where our time and attention are the currency.
Exactly. That's the most valuable currency online. And these creators are masterfully designing content to capture as much of it as humanly possible.
Yeah.
The ultimate goal is draw you in, make you click, keep you watching, because your attention translates directly into that revenue.
So we zoom out a bit, connect this to the bigger picture. One of the most insidious, really toxic forms of content identified in these sources is the systematic amplification of division along political lines, regional lines, or, most potently and dangerously, along these deeply ingrained clan lines. So this raises an important question. How exactly do these titles manage to pit groups against each other so effectively, turn abstract concepts into immediate personal conflicts?
Yeah, that's the core of their strategy, isn't it? They use incredibly inflammatory language, often right there in the title itself. It's blatant.
Great question.
For instance, titles directly inciting inter-clan conflict. Phrases explicitly naming groups like Majirteen, Dulbahante Iyo, or Singali. It frames complex political or military issues as direct confrontations between these specific clans.
Wow, just putting it right out there.
Or they might use these highly emotional, deeply manipulative narratives like, Huyo Medjerteen 3 will Iksog Ugahistan Hawi, which translates to a Medjerteen mother whose 3 sons are held hostage by Ho.
Oof. That's designed to provoke immediate outrage.
Exactly, and profound sympathy for one side against another. It creates an instant us versus them scenario.
Precisely. It's that classic us versus them narrative, but made even more potent because it taps into deep cultural and historical roots within Somali society.
Yeah.
You see these common prefixes in the titles like Garages U, meaning the Garages clan has, or Bisha Habar Jeklo U, meaning the Habar Jeklo clan has. It immediately frames any news through a specific clan lens, assigning collective action or opinion to an entire group.
So if one person does something, the whole group is implicated.
Exactly. Even just exposing someone's supposed clan identity, like using Kabil Kadapta'a or the real clan, is presented as a kind of scandalous secret, often with negative implications or to undermine someone's credibility.
Yeah, the sources mentioned Nazca Asalkisa too, the lineage, his origins used to question someone's background, all designed to sow distrust.
Pure division tactics.
And shockingly, some titles plumb truly disturbing depths, using deeply dehumanizing language that just crosses every imaginable line. One example from the sources that it really stands out is Gabtaha Puntland o Lagursansuga Lugu Kalagato, meaning Puntland girls will be sold in the market.
Wow. That's chilling.
It really is. It makes you realize the sheer depths some creators will go to for engagement. That kind of language is clearly designed to sow deep division, provoke extreme outrage, and literally dehumanize a specific group in a horrifying way. It's a stark reminder of the real-world harm that can ripple out from just a title.
And these clan-coded narratives, they're not just online provocations. They have direct, verifiable, often tragic, real-world consequences. The sources explicitly link these online false narratives to real-world violence.
Right. Escalating conflicts.
Particularly in resource-scarce regions of Somalia. There have even been documented arrests of social media influencers for disseminating clan-based insults online and for spreading disorder and discord.
So the authorities are noticing, at least sometimes.
Sometimes. But it underscores precisely how online content, seemingly innocuous in its digital format, leads to heightened tensions, direct confrontation, even legal repercussions. It highlights the severe, tangible impact of what looks like just words on a screen.
So we've talked about the deep, divisive tactics, but let's shift to the sheer ingenuity or maybe malevolence of the clickbait itself. This is where it gets really interesting, I think. These sophisticated techniques aren't random.
No, not at all.
Our sources show this is a clear, calculated editorial strategy, a well-oiled machine, not just isolated incidents. The titles are often long, too, averaging around 16 distinct words or phrases, packed with imperatives, shock words, even religious stuff.
Precisely. The titles are masterfully crafted to maximize clicks, almost like a psychological operation. You see words like DDD, meaning urgent, or breaking, plastered everywhere.
Yeah, constantly.
Even for news that is nowhere near urgent. It's like seeing breaking news for something trivial. It creates that false sense of immediacy, that fear of missing out.
That FOMO, yeah.
And phrases like kawa, tonight, or hada, now, are deployed to make content feel extremely time-sensitive. Crucial, compelling you to watch immediately.
Because if you don't, you'll miss something vital. And the emotional vocabulary is just relentless. Words like yab, shocking, fajichiso, tragedy, sieb, shame, lama falan, unexpected. They're used so liberally, almost like emotional triggers to provoke strong, immediate reactions, pull you right in. They also masterfully pose provocative questions right in the title. Watuma, who is it? Or marumba, is it true? This is clever. It creates an information gap in your mind.
Your brain hates that gap.
Exactly. It has to fill. It compels you to click and watch just to resolve that cognitive dissonance. It's a powerful psychological hook.
What's also striking is the consistent, widespread use of capitalization, often all CPS.
Shouting at you.
Exactly. To convey shouting or extreme urgency, it's a classic clickbait tactic, screaming for attention. The systematic, almost formulaic use of these techniques across thousands of titles, it strongly suggests a clear, underlying, very powerful motivation.
It's not just a few individuals doing this.
No, it's an entire ecosystem that has learned what works and repeats it.
And what is that motivation? It really boils down to something pretty simple, doesn't it?
Money. Money. The sources explicitly state that a significant number of these influencers are financially motivated. They are leveraging clan affiliations, raw sensationalism, manufactured outrage, not just for clicks, but directly to generate income.
Yeah, the numbers are quite telling.
We see that even mid-tier channels, maybe around 15,000 views per video, can earn a significant amount. somewhere between $40 to $60 per video.
And you multiply that across thousands of videos.
Exactly. Imagine that scale. This directly ties into the attention economy, where outrage, division, engagement, they're meticulously converted into tangible revenue. It creates this powerful, insidious incentive for these toxic practices to just continue and flourish.
This financial incentive then raises another important question. Beyond the direct conflict stuff, or mere sensationalism, how do these channels weave in outright disinformation, complex conspiracy theories?
Right. It's not just true or false. It's about creating this whole narrative landscape that thrives on unverified claims, preying on anxieties and beliefs.
How do they do that? Well, a cornerstone of this content, right there in the titles, is the promise of hidden truths, exposing elaborate, shadowy plots. Keywords like Sirta, the secret, or Karsoon, hidden, are super common.
Ah, the secret knowledge angle.
Exactly. In one data set, Sirta appeared in 135 titles alone. Think of titles like Saddam Hussein Ayalaga Hile Zabsiga Sidnaya Surya 19 Sano Kadib. Saddam Hussein was found in Stednaya prison in Syria after 19 years.
Which is just completely baseless.
Utterly baseless, an outrageous, easily falsifiable claim presented as breaking news. Designed purely to shock people into clicking, regardless of reality, it plays on that deep human desire for exclusive, insider information.
And it goes deeper than just political hoaxes, right? You mentioned religion.
Oh, absolutely. Religious sensationalism is a major, powerful lever they pull. Words like six, witchcraft, Assad, envy or evil eye, jinn, these tap directly into deeply held cultural and religious beliefs.
To explain misfortunes or offer scapegoats.
Precisely. And then the channels offer these simplistic, almost magical solutions like muchiso, miracle, or duko, prayer, often just for clickbait. For example, a title might promise instant happiness or calamity avoidance if you use a certain plant on a specific religious date.
Wow. Exploiting people's hopes and fears with unverified, sometimes dangerously misleading claims, promising instant fixes.
It's a powerful emotional shortcut for clicks.
And what about the apocalyptic stuff?
Yeah, the apocalyptic framing is also very prevalent and incredibly effective at generating fear and urgency, linking mundane events or geopolitical happenings to Kalamadaha Kiyami, signs of the Day of Judgment.
Creating immense dread and immediacy.
Totally. For example, a title like Magaladi Dajjal Sakam Maraikan Aya Galai Sakari Kiyamaha, which roughly means the city of Dajjal, the Antichrist figure, entered America this morning. The hour of judgment has begun.
Linking geopolitics directly to Islamic eschatology. Terrifying for believers.
Exactly, creating this sense of inevitable doom. And these narratives often rely on what the sources call religion-wrapped authority.
Meaning?
Subtly or explicitly using Quranic verses or clerical titles like or sheikh right in the titles to lend this false legitimacy to unverified claims, making them much harder for many in the audience to question or dismiss.
Okay, so if these tactics are so clearly harmful and the consequences so severe, why do they continue to thrive? Why does this problem persist? It seems immune to efforts to curb it. There must be systemic reasons.
Yeah, there definitely are. One major factor, highlighted repeatedly in the sources, is a significant language coverage gap within the major social media platforms.
Ah, the moderation challenge.
Exactly. Think about it. How do you train an automated filter, an AI, to understand the subtle jab, the historical nuance of a clan reference, the sarcasm unique to a dialect, the intricate cultural context of Somali misinformation? It's incredibly difficult.
So the platforms have limited Somali moderation capacity.
Very limited. They often rely on slow, resource-intensive manual moderation, which just can't keep up with the sheer volume of content. Robust, culturally aware AI tools for understanding Somali are, well, largely absent or severely underdeveloped.
And that's compounded by low media literacy, right?
Hugely. Across significant portions of the Somali-speaking population, a large segment lacks the digital literacy skills needed to critically evaluate this flood of information, making them particularly susceptible to these compelling, emotionally charged, but ultimately false narratives.
Plus, the sources mention the absence of cross-clan moderation.
Explain that.
It means moderation efforts that are sensitive to and involve representatives from various clan perspectives, ensuring impartiality, understanding the nuances. Without that, rumors and divisive claims often go completely unchallenged within specific online community.
Creating dangerous echo chambers.
Exactly, where misinformation solidifies into accepted truth. No dissenting voices break through.
And let's not forget the diaspora amplification effect.
Right, this isn't just happening in Somalia.
No. Somali-speaking audiences living in major global cities, Nairobi, Minneapolis, London, they consume these same YouTube channels. This effectively exports local clan disputes, political factionalism, toxic narratives to entirely new contexts, influencing communities far from Somalia's borders.
So a seemingly localized content system becomes a global problem.
Absolutely. With its reach and impact extending far beyond Somalia, it creates this complex web of online influence that transcends physical borders, making solutions even more challenging.
Wow, we've really peeled back the layers here. Somali language YouTube,
Wow.
revealing the sophisticated system where systematically crafted titles leverage deeply ingrained tribalism, raw sensationalism, the promise of hidden knowledge, even religious fervor. We've seen how powerful financial incentives and these deeply rooted clan ideologies fuel the content machine, meticulously turning clicks and outrage into cash, and sometimes, tragically, into real-world conflict and profoundly deepened societal division.
It's such a powerful, stark reminder that what happens in the digital space absolutely does not stay there. Understanding these tactics, from the constant deceptive use of DEGEG to the subtle yet potent clan references that divide, it's crucial. For anyone trying to navigate today's complex, often volatile, increasingly interconnected information landscape.
Which really brings us to a crucial question for you, the listener. In your own online interactions, maybe in a different context, a different language, around different identities, how often do you see similar emotional manipulation,
Mm.
manufactured urgency, or even this kind of tribalistic framing?
Yeah.
And how might your awareness now of these very specific tactics we've discussed today help you evaluate the information you encounter daily, maybe foster a more critical, more resilient approach to what you consume, no matter where it comes from?
It's a deep dive that truly shows the immense and sometimes truly dangerous power contained within just a simple title. Stay curious, everyone, and keep asking those important questions about the information you consume.